Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Good morning, guys. So we are still up here in Meteora, Greece, which is one of the most beautiful places I have been in my life. If you're ever visiting Greece, I highly recommend coming and checking this place out. I discovered it by Googling best places to fly drones in the world, and I am so happy that I discovered it because it is such a hidden gem. Speaking of hidden gems, we are currently on a 7-kilometer hike to visit a monastery that is called the hidden gem of the hike. You can only access it via hiking.
Maybe you should choose something.
What's this?
Mint.
Yes.
Oh, it's just naturally grown.
As plants do.
Yes.
I know, right? Who knew they actually grew in the wild as well?
What do you mean?
I thought they just grew at the shops.
Oh wow.
In the past, it worked as a retreat. Okay, it would host about 7 monks. Okay, it was very small. And if somebody from the Great Meteora wanted to get away from the other monks, to live like a hermit, something like that, to retreat, okay, they would come over here. Now, nowadays, and since the middle of 18th century, this is abandoned. Okay, it doesn't have anyone living inside. But of course, you see, it's in a very good shape because it was renovated in 2000. Okay, so it's more or less brand new. Okay.
They have an elevator.
Yes, they have an electric elevator. Okay, this is 2000. Yes.
That's amazing. If you get a bit too much for me and I need some space to get away and be a hermit, I'm gonna just go up there.
I'm imploring you to go now.
So right behind me we have all of these natural caves in the side of the rock. This is all sandstone, so it's quite brittle rock. And the first monks who came to Meteora were in around about the 10th century. And the reason that they came here was they wanted to live in solitude and suffering so that they could be closer to God. And they would literally climb the side of the mountain. They would pay locals to build small removable wooden ladders, and they would climb up this mountain and live in these tiny caves. And the only way that they could survive was through offerings that the locals would come and bring them. They would actually get buckets, lower them down from the top with food and water and blankets and things like that. And they would just collect them in these caves and just live in there and pray. And it's unbelievable. And then later on, these hermit monks formed communities. So they actually built 24 monasteries high up in these mountains, and there are still 6 that are functioning today. If you guys can see this crack coming down this rock, that actually is so that rainwater can come into this cistern. Now, this has been there since the 14th century, although some think it may have been here since the 10th. Now, this is actually a church that has been carved inside of the cave. And the technique that they would use to carve this cave out is they would put vinegar on the sandstone to soften the sandstone and carve it out. And it's so ridiculously cool in here. The only person who would come in here would be a priest, and then his congregation would come and worship outside. So it's very special being able to come in here. Do you see what that is? That is in the mountains. So our hike is pretty much over now. We've walked 7 kilometers and our final destination is this place behind me, which is called the Great Meteora. This is the biggest monastery up in these mountains. There's still 5 monks who live up here. They share this entire, I would pretty much call this monastery a castle. 5 monks share it between them, which is pretty cool. They could literally probably go weeks without seeing one another, living in the same house. Do you guys sell coffee?
Espresso or frappe?
I'll have espresso, please.
Sugar?
2, please.
2 espresso?
2 sugar.
2 sugars.
2 sugars, 1 espresso.
1 espresso, yeah. We just got into the monastery and the first room that I see is this. It almost looks like it has some kind of plank going off the edge. I'm so curious what this is for. In a weird way, it reminds me of in Game of Thrones when there was that tower that had the pit in the middle where you just fall down. Bit of a random fact, they actually CGI'd Meteora for Game of Thrones. So if Meteora looks a little bit familiar and you're a Game of Thrones fan, then that's probably why. Something we learned yesterday is the monks used to be quite poor. So before they could actually afford brass, they would have these big wooden posts that they would use rocks on and bang, and that was their bell. Then I guess over the years, they got these, which became their bells. And as you can see, there's a cross on the top of it as well. So a lot of the rooms up here you're actually not allowed to film in, so I've just put the camera down and I've just been taking it all in, and I went into this one room which was one of the most beautiful rooms I've ever stepped foot in my life. I wish I could show you guys the paintings. Like, it was literally covered in paintings, like paintings from the roof. The paintings told the history of Meteora and the monks and Christ, and everybody was lighting candles in there and saying prayers, and I closed my eyes and I said a prayer for Ava and Zoe, for my mom, my dad, prayed for peace in my own life. It was a very beautiful and spiritual experience. There's something just so peaceful up here. Every single day for lunch that we've been in Greece, and we're going to continue because they're so good here. So good. Good morning. So we are still up here in Greece. Today is actually the last day that we're here, so I'm a little bit sad to leave, but I'm excited to get back because I really miss the girls. I've been overseas for 12 days. It probably seems like a little bit longer to you guys because I've spaced the videos out because we've just done so much cool stuff. I wanted to film it all for you guys. But this is my view at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed the drone footage. It's always exciting when you get an Airbnb that has an amazing rooftop so you can set your drone off, and the views up here are just mind-blowing. Last night when we got here, we just sat on the roof and watched the sunset. It was so incredible. Anyway, I don't really know what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna head out and see where the day takes us. So we'll take you guys with us. Let's do it. We just had the weirdest experience. So we were waiting at a taxi line and there was an old lady who was waiting in front of us. And she was clearly supposed to get the taxi before us. And she went to get in the taxi, and then the taxi driver told her to get out and told us to come in. I'm like, no, she was first. And he's like, no, come in, where do you want to go? I'm like, no, she's first, you have to take her. And then he's like, no. And he refused to let the old lady, I'm talking like a 70-year-old lady, into his cab, and we just walked away. And so we think what was probably happening is they charged tourists more than what they charged the locals. So he was like, no, I'll get more money out of these guys.
But instead,
we just walked away.
Walked off, and
because there's no way else supporting that sort of behavior. I was messed up.
What a bang.
I was messed up. Could I get one of these? Yeah. And I'll get one of these. I've been really confused while I've been over here because I keep ordering lattes and getting cappuccinos, which I'm not really complaining about because the cappuccinos here have been great. And I've always been under the assumption that lattes are European, specifically Italian. How's your espresso?
Hello, I didn't know you were filming. Welcome to my vlog. I'm just here drinking my espresso. Well, I didn't hear anything you said before this, so I don't know.
I was just talking about the whole latte thing. So Frank was telling me that latte is actually not a European drink, and latte actually just means milk in Italian.
Oh, there you go.
So we've been fooled this whole time.
But I've been drinking espresso, so you've been fooled this whole time.
I've been fooled this whole time. I just found a store that sells all of these different bath toys. Zoe especially loves these, so I'm gonna get her this princess one. What else have we got? They love unicorns, so I'm gonna get one of these. And Ava loves Batman, so I'll get Ava one of these. We just stumbled across this random marketplace, as you guys can see. I'm really glad we didn't end up taking the taxi and just decided to walk around. We've been walking for about an hour and we've stumbled across all these amazing laneways, cool graffiti, met really interesting people. I think when you're overseas, while it's good to have a plan and know a little bit about what you're going to be doing, I think you need to at least have 1 or 2 days where you just go out with no plan whatsoever, go and get lost in the city and just take the day as it comes, see where it goes. I found all of these rings and they all have old Greek coins on them. I quite like this one, and the cool thing is the guy said he can actually resize it for me in half an hour. So I'm gonna buy this one, go for a walk, come back, and it's gonna fit me perfectly. Pretty good deal. Thank you very much.
One moment, measure your finger.
Trying not to get run over while I eat my cake. Okay, I'll just keep my legs in from the road. Anyway, let's taste this cake.
Judge my cake. Judge my cake.
So we're back down near the Acropolis now. There's so many nice restaurants around here, but I'm super full from that cake. I think we're gonna try and get a tour of the Acropolis. We can find somebody to take us around. We probably picked the absolute worst time to go. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's gonna be super busy, but you know, when in Greece. I believe that this is a theater of some sort. When I came here the other day, they actually had bean bags that were set up on the stairs here, and they had a show that was going on downstairs. So a bit of a tip, wear some grippy shoes when you come here, because a lot of these stairs are made of marble and they're incredibly slippery. I've nearly fallen over a couple of times, but they look amazing and they actually feel quite amazing to walk on.
Oh, it's that.
Still under construction. They started reconstructing this in 1983. That's the year that I was born. How crazy is that? And something that I never realized is these columns aren't one piece. They're small columns on top of one another. I mean, it makes sense. I just never realized that. You can see the cracks between them.
Please come out, please.
Ooh. She tried it.
Thank you very much. You're
very kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I gotta say is, one thing I gotta say is when you come to a historical site, you should be respectful. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So we have come to the end of our Greece vlogs. We are just in the car, about to head down to the airport. I'm really excited to get home to see the girls. It has been a long trip. It's been an amazing one though. You had fun, bro?
Yeah, I had a really good time.
Also, make sure you go and check out Josh's Instagram because he's had some amazing photos from the trip. If you like these travel vlogs, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know where you would like to see me travel to next. And I'll see you in the next vlog in Melbourne. Have a great day. Bye.